Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have studied about the various methods of speed control of induction motor drive, like the current source voltage control and VSI control, CSI control. Now, the next method of speed control is rotor resistance control. The speed torque curve for rotor resistance control are given as we have already seen in the expression that the rotor resistance, the speed and torque both are dependent on the rotor resistance. In the basic expression we have seen this thing. The speed torque curve for rotor resistance control are given. Maximum torque is independent of rotor resistance. We have seen that in the expression of maximum torque there is no effect of rotor resistance. Similarly, we can see in the characteristic that maximum torque is independent of rotation. Maximum torque is same for different rotor resistance value. Maximum speed at which maximum torque is produced changes with rotor resistance. But if we see that the speed at the speed where the maximum torque is produced is changes in each graph. So for the same torque, speed falls with an increase in rotor resistance. If we assume a constant torque line, and we have seen that for the different value of rotor resistance, this point has been different and the speed will falls when increasing the r, increasing in direction. So when we increase the direction, the torque for the same torque, the speed will be false. Cost of rotor resistance control is very low compared to the variable frequency control. Major disadvantage is low efficiency due to additional losses in resistor connected in the rotor circuit. We have to connect external resistance to control the speed of rotor. So losses will occur in that. As the mainly losses take place in the external resistor, they do not hit the motor. There are two types of rotor resistance control method. One is conventional method. A number of methods used for obtaining variable resistance in drum controller. Resistance is varied by using rotary switch, and the resistance divided in the few steps. Variable resistance can be obtained by using contactor and resistor in series. So in conventional method, we can insert the resistance in the few steps, and we control this resistance by controlling any switches. And high power application uses a slip regulator which consists of 3 electrodes submerged in the electrolyte consisting of saline water. Resistance is varied by changing the distance between electrode and each earth electrode. So this is some of the methods of convention control of resistance. Now the second method is the static rotor resistance control. In this static rotor resistance control, we have used the thyristor switch to control the resistance of the rotor. Rotor resistance can be varied by using the following circuit. In this circuit, this is our induction motor. This is the rotor circuit, and this is this will a rectifier which converts this AC supply into DC supply, and this DC supply is applied across a resistance R, and there is a transistor TR. When TR is switched on, then the effective resistance between A and B will be 0 because the current has been passed from the switch. And if TR is off, the effective resistance is R. So by controlling the duty cycle or on off time of TR, effective resistance of R across AB terminal has been varied. This is the basics of this method. And the AC output voltage of rotor is rectified by diode bridge. We have seen this is the AC output voltage of rectifier, and it is fed to a parallel combination of a fixed resistance R and semiconductor switch realized by transistor R TR. Effective value of resistance across the terminal AB RAB is varied by varying the duty ratio of transistor TR. So by varying the TR, the duty ratio TR, effective value of RAB is varied, which in turn varies the rotor circuit resistance. and which affect the rotor circuit resistance. Inductance LD is added to produce the ripple and disconnecting the DC link current ID. So there is a inductance LD, this is the LD, and this LD is used to rectify the current and reduce the ripples. Rotor current waveform will be shown as figure when the ripple is neglected. Thus RMS rotor current will be IR if this is the current ID and this is the value of rotor current. If we see the waveform, then this is the rotor current waveform where the maximum value is ID. So this rotor current waveform, if we take the RMS value, then the rotor current waveform IR equal to root 2 upon 3 into ID. If you take the RMS of that waveform, this is the value occur. The resistance between terminal A and B will be 0 when transistor is on, and it will be R when it is off. So the average value of resistance between the terminal can be given as RAB is equals to 1 minus delta into R. If delta equal to 1, then the RAB equal to 0, delta equal to 0, RAB equal to R. Means if TR is on, resistance equal to 0, TR off, resistance equal to R. So the effective value will be less than from the R. So this is equal to 1 minus delta into R, where delta is the duty ratio of the transistor and is given by equation T delta equal to T on upon T. Delta is the duty ratio. Now we can calculate the different parameter for this value of RAB. Power consumed by RAB. If we calculate the power consumed by RAB, so the consumed power is given by RAB into ID square, or ID square into RAB. The value of RAB is R into 1 minus delta. Power consumed by per phase, so we can divide this value by PAB upon 3. So it will become ID can be replaced as a root 2 by 3 into D. So this value will become 0.5 R into 1 minus delta into IR square. In terms of IR, this value is 0.5 into R into 1 minus delta into IR square. The equation suggests that rotor circuit resistance per phase is increased by 0.5 R into 1 minus delta. Thus, total rotor circuit resistance per phase will be this is the additional resistance which we insert in the rotor circuit. So the effective resistance per phase can be RRT equal to RR plus 0.5 R into 1 minus delta. So RRT total resistance of the rotor circuit resistance per phase can be varied from RR to RR plus 0.5 into R, and delta can be varied from 1 to 0. A closed loop control scheme for inner control loop can also be carried out in this. If we take the feedback of speed, and this speed feedback due to the speed sensor, this speed sensor and reference speed can be give the error signal to the speed controller, which is give the current limiter and generate a current signal ID. The ID and IR dash when sum here, then the current controller loop give the signal, generate the duty cycle delta, and according to the duty cycle delta, the speed can be readjusted. So this is the closed loop control for speed control of induction motor using the static rotor resistance method.